Hello, my name is Collection Connoisseur. I collect digital thingamabobs in video games. Today I'm playing Monster Train. The final goal of my playthrough of Monster Train is to master the last four cards. Divinity master the last four cards, that is. However, I have already gotten all the crowns with Hellhorned and Wormkin together. So, in order to also make other progress, I'm going to do the Melting Hellhorn this time. So we have access to 2 of the 4 cards to Divinity Master. The reason I have this already selected and the win streak is 0 is because I've been resetting. I have been abandoning runs where I did not have a card to master. So I'm really focused on actually mastering a card this time, which means at least getting a card that I could master. Also, we're choosing Little Fade because Little Fade we don't have the crown with Little Fade and the Hellhorn. Let's go. Alright, we've got Seraph the Temperate, Subsuming Blade from the very start, Ritual of Battle. Purifying Cleanse is a little bit weird. But there we are. Alright. We'll start. I don't know how I feel about this start. Let's see what Little Fade we get. Little Icarus, I picked between exactly these, so Little Icarus, just like my last pick. Ho-ho, Guild Marker from the very beginning, I will take that. And when played, my champion gets more health. I mean, it's honestly pretty good. It's weirdly pretty good because Little Fade only has 1 health the first time, but she has more health the times that we reform her, and more health matters a lot with the spikes. Alright, Mark of Invasion, a great way to get spikes on Little Fade. Now these guys are terrible, by the way, with Little Fade. Absolutely terrible. Let's see what we can do. So, first turn, we can't get rid of all of the ones at the top. So we're going to play Little Fade, and we're going to... We could torch one, or we could torch Little Fade and bring her back already, which I think is actually the better plan. Because then Little Fade kills 2 of them, which makes her spikes go up faster. So we've already taken 3 damage on the Pyre. I'm glad we got Primitive Mold, but I wish we didn't get all of our Primitive Molds so fast. We need them later too. Oh well. So here's Little Fade. Little Fade dies at the top but kills 4 of them. That sounds excellent to me. Oh, she doesn't die because of the Mark of an Exile. Little Fade kills all 5 of those. And then she's still around next turn for a little bit. Okay, I'm happy with that. What about a Train Steward in the center? And a torch doesn't kill you, does it? And you just heal him back up. I think we're going to torch this one, and we're going to have to deal with these later. They are a little bit of a problem. Alright, Little Fade just got a whole lot more spikes. And Little Fade is burning out after killing that one. That's almost perfect, except that we don't have a way to get Little Fade back, which is not great. Well, I mean, we could restore your health and give you 3 burnout, I guess. I guess we will do that. Purifying Cleanse our Little Fade. And then we should torch the Trusted Priest, I think. And if we want a Train Steward to die, we should put it in the center. We do want it to die, I think. Because then we could use Primitive Mold to get it back. But we want Primitive Mold to get back Little Fade, so let's not. Alright, Subsuming Blade is here. And all of those die to Little Fade, which is great. Subsuming Blade is also another thing that we can permanently increase. Lots of things we can permanently increase here. Little Fade, I need something, either for you to die and we bring you back, or another one of the give you 15 health and you get more burnout. Alright, Subsuming Blade. Subsuming Blade does kill Little Fade, if we want to do that. Subsuming Blade also kills a Train Steward. I think I'm going to have to take a risk. Kill Little Fade, bring her back next turn. We're just going to torch the boss. We have to actually draw one of the 5 primitive molds. We did. Great. And then we can play Little Fade. And Little Fade gets another kill. Alright. Little Fade is going to be at 23 spikes after the first battle. That's amazing. Do I want a Molten Encasement? Kind of, yeah. Kind of. It's just more things than I would want a primitive mold, though. Molten Encasement or Dripfall? I don't think I want the Entombed Explosive. I'm going to take Dripfall this time. And we could get an Imp. Or we could get another Ritual of Battle. I think we kind of want none of these. I'm going to skip for now. We might take an Imp later, but for now we're skipping. We've got to go to the right, because we want to master a card, and Consumer of Crowns might be here. It might. Ooh, a Frenzy Stone. Alright, what do we get? We didn't get Consumer of Crowns, which, you know, oh well. We did get a Rail Beater, which I kind of like. Rail Beater with a Frenzy Stone is fine, especially if he gets more attack somehow. So let's take the Rail Beater. Let's look at the Divine Horde next. Ooh, apply Endless. Oh, Votive Key is excellent. We can have our Little Fade have Endless. The only problem with that is if she doesn't die, we don't get to reform her. And not reforming her means that she never gets any more health. Maybe we should take Scorch Steel. Aw, this one's hard. Votive Key seems so good. I'm gonna take the Votive Key. But we have to be careful with Little Fade now. So Frenzy Stone on the Rail Beater. We'll do that. Do I take a Battle Stone? I don't think so. We could re-roll, since we have the guild marker. Immortal Stone adds Endless to a unit. I mean, if we had taken an Imp, we might have done that. Heartstone could go on you. I think we do kind of want a Heartstone on you. So we're going to put a Heartstone on this guy. We're going to purge a card. Purging a Train Steward. So there's less things to get back from our consume pile. I don't really like the haste. The spikes doesn't really bother me too much though, so let's turn this on. Alright. The Rail Beater is going to go at the top, I believe. Little Fade is going to kill 2 of the ones at the bottom, and then come back because we're playing her first. Nope, you only kill 1. Oh, because you have got 2 health, of course. I took the Votive Key, not the 5 armor. I was thinking I took the 5 armor there. Oh well. We played you with Endless, which is not my favorite. We could play the Train Steward with Endless, so Little Fade actually dies this turn. let's do that. Train Steward goes there. Little Fade is just going to... She could go at the top to kill one of those. I guess that's helpful because then we kill the Conduit Infiltrator too. Alright. Now, all of those go to the top, which is not great. We will definitely Primitive Mold Little Fade. Little Fade kills how many of them? You kill these 3, and you die after you kill those 3. So we could Drip Fall. Oh, I also made you endless again. I didn't really mean to do that. Should have played the other Train Steward first. But I'm gonna Drip Fall you and Torch you so that we kill you as well. So Little Fade gets 3 more kills. We play Little Fade. We definitely play Little Fade. Do we then kill Little Fade and bring her back? Because if we do, she will have 11 health on base, and then she'll get 5 more. She'll have 16 health. It's not actually what I want. Also, if we kill her, she gets the Endless as well, so it doesn't work. Alright, Subsuming Blade, we're gonna kill this one, so that you go up a floor. And then we click and turn. We need something so that Little Fade doesn't have Endless all the time. And playing a Train Steward this turn would do that. But now's not the time for her not to have Endless, I think. So let's do this. Deal 44 damage because you have Burnout 1 as well. How sad. You've got so many spikes, but you only have Burnout 1. Alright, well, we're going to have to do well at the top, I guess. So we could play Little Fade, Subsuming Blade Little Fade, and then Primitive Mold. I think we will do that, especially because we're already winning. So, play Little Fade, Subsuming Blade Little Fade, which increases Subsuming Blade. Then we Primitive Mold. Oh, we needed to play the Train Steward, and that doesn't work. Alright, so, whatever. We still win. Alright, the votive key we have to be very, very careful with Little Fade. Ooh, there we go. Molten Encasement kind of solves that problem. Alright, let's take it. Fledgling Imp is also a nice thing for that little problem that we had, because that's another thing that is nice to have Endless on. I'll take that too. Okay. Kind of like where this is going, except that this is not a Hellhorned unit banner, so we can't get Consumer of Crowns from it. There is one there, and we could get Thy Holiest Shield from this. Alright, we don't really want the Merchant of Steel, do we? Not particularly, because we kind of already upgraded the Rail Beater. Let's go this way. So, where do we go first? Merchant of Magic, we just peek. I see a Freeze Stone that could matter. I see a Value Stone, which we could put on one of those Rituals of Battle, or the Subsuming Blade, for that matter. Don't mind the Purge Stone. And let's take a Remnant unit. So, we could take the Wickless Tycoon, which has Harvest. I don't mind that. Let's take it. Okay, so we've got a Wickless Tycoon. We're going to get some money with the Wickless Tycoon. It may not last very long, though. We'll see. Alright, the Holiest Shield. Come on. Ooh, I think this might be it. Thy holiest shield. We've mastered this one. We've mastered this one. We have not mastered thy holiest shield. Alright, we've got something to Divinity Master. Now we just have to successfully do that thing. Successfully Divinity Master it. So, alright. We're going to take a value stone. I'm seriously considering it on Subsuming Blade, but it's also very nice on Ritual of Battle. I'm going to place it on Subsuming Blade. Ooh, it can also go on thy holiest shield, for that matter. It's pretty nice on holiest shield, but I'm going to put it on Subsuming Blade. And then Purge Stone we could take, maybe, to get rid of torches. I would be happy to get rid of torches. Purge Stone, a torch. And we're not sacrificing anything just now. Do we want a freeze stone on something? We could put it on thy holiest shield. Certainly considering that. I'll take it. Obviously this is not great yet, because we don't want to play it and purge it. But we will eventually not have it purge. It will just consume. Is it worth that? Let's not do it. Let's not do it for now. Power Stone could go on Subsuming Blade. I don't mind that. Well, could hope for something better, though. Let's hope for something better. Let's just take an Emberstone. Emberstone on a Ritual of Battle or a Primitive Mold. Or Dripfall. Pick on a Ritual of Battle. Now let's reroll. Holdover. Holdover we kind of want on either a Primitive Mold or a Subsuming Blade. Both of those work really well. Primitive Mold on, or Keepstone on Primitive Mold is good if we can consistently get little fade back, of course. That only works if we get one of the other ones that have endless, which we can. Alright, let's do it. Let's put an Emberstone on that. And then we could even take a Surge Stone and put it on a torch. Not the torch that we put the Purge on, though. Alright. I think that was a good set of upgrades. Let's go to Daedalus the Professor. Explosive Sigil. That's actually kind of annoying. Now remember, we've got the Votive Key. We could play the Wickless Tycoon first. That's really nice, actually. Wickless Tycoon at the bottom. You have Endless now. We can play Little Fade here. And then we can even Subsuming Blade our Little Fade and Primitive Mold her. Yeah, let's do that. Subsuming Blade, Little Fade, and then Primitive Mold, Little Fade. Get her back. Now she kills a couple more, and we got some money from defeating our own unit. Great. Alright, this one is going very well so far as well. Now, we need something to have Endless, which is going to be... could be the Rail Beater, or it could be the Molten Encasement. Honestly, both of those are nice, but the Molten Encasement just seems better, right? I think so. So the Molten Encasement is going to get Endless. I'm going to play it down here. No, let's play it here. And we'll put the Rail Beater there. And then we definitely play Primitive Mold. We play Little Fade at the bottom. Little Fade kills all of those. I want her to die, but she's not going to die this turn. Do I want to give her more burnout for some reason? I don't think so. No, not yet. Let's just let her get hurt. Okay, now you're not great. So we could torch you. Torch you. We want to play the Molten Encasement first. We don't want to play that on this floor. We want to play that on this floor, honestly. Primitive Mold our Little Fade. Now Little Fade will kill 2 of them because you've got 45 spikes, so it kills this one. Great. And Little Fade doesn't die, which is a little bit of a surprise. It's not too much of a surprise. What about a Train Steward? We could play a Train Steward, like, in the middle here. It would get hurt. I kind of want it to be out of the deck, but I don't want it to be in the consume pile. So, what do? I think we're just going to end turn. Now, we definitely have to use this torch. I could use this torch... Let's see here, the consume pile has a torch. Oh, right. I could use this torch to do nothing. I can't really kill Little Fade with this torch. I could kill the Molten Encasement with this torch, though, which is not too terrible. Let's do that. Primitive Mold, just so that we get it back next turn when we can get Little Fade back. And then... we're only killing 1 because you deal 1 damage when you die. How sad. So we're gonna get back you, the Stealth Giver, and the Primitive Mold. 3 of the 5 cards, we know exactly what they are. So I do like putting the Stealth unit at here. And we definitely want to get back Little Fade. Let's get back Little Fade first, so I can, well, you know, not play her first, but get her back so I could see what's going to happen. So you deal 10 damage. If we play Little Fade in the center, she would kill this one and this one. If we play her at the bottom, she would kill this one and survive. If we play her in the center, then she'll kill these 2 and she'll kill that one. But we want to play the Molten Encasement first. Alright. The Wickless Tycoon we're going to put at the bottom, I think. Or we could play Ritual of Battle on something, which might also be better, playing Ritual of Battle on you. But I do really want the money. And we're just going to get some money while we can. Great. Alright. We will not play the Holiest Shield. The Primitive Mold does nothing, but we should play it, so we get it back. And then we could play a Fledgling Imp that will have Endless. Fledgling Imp with Endless. That way, this one dies and you get some money, and you get some money for the Fledgling Imp. Alright. The problem here is that... oh, wait a minute, we can do this. That gives you more burnout. You're dying because the stealth, right. So what we want to do is we actually want to play the Molten Encasement here, because I think that means that Little Fade will win and get even more spikes. Of course she does. Excellent. Alloy of the Ancients is pretty good on Little Fade. Because her having more health is good with how many spikes she has. Okay, I will take that. And then, you know, a Wickless Baron is quite nice. We haven't sacrificed anything to the Rail Beater. We could sacrifice... Ooh, we could sacrifice the Wickless Baron to the Rail Beater. I like that. Yeah, let's take that. And what do we want most? Do we want more cards or more Ember? I could see either. Space I don't think is the right thing to choose right now. I want more Ember, but not as much as I want more cards. So let's take more cards. Alright. See, I really want to go to the right because it gives me another chance to get Consumer of Crowns, which would be a second thing to master. But I think the left helps me more, and I think we should focus on mastering one card instead of maybe losing the run because I try to master two. So let's go to the left. Now, Divine Temple has another Value Stone and a Seek Stone. I don't really want the Seek Stone on anything, I don't think. But the Value Stone I probably do. And then we can upgrade our champion. Let's do the artifact first. Ooh, the first time we summon an imp each turn, we gain an ember and we draw a card. That's excellent when our imp also has endless. I'll take it. That's actually really nice. And then Little Fade. So we could give Little Fade endless, but it does mean that she doesn't gain health as quickly. And I'd rather have her just gain more permanent spikes, I think. Alright, remove two cards. We're going to remove Train Stewards. They're the worst because they take up space in my death pile, basically. And then I really want to do the Engage Pact. Engage Pact on Wickless Baron to send him onto the Rail Beater. It seems really nice. The other thing I could think of is stapling the Molten Encasement onto the Fledgling Imp, because then we've got one unit that does both of the things, and when we play the imp, we draw it. I really like that, actually. Let's do that first. I think I'm going to do the other one as well, but we're going to do this one first. So that Fledgling Imp is also a Molten Encasement. And then I think the Value Stone goes on this Ritual of Battle that we have right there. Yeah. Alright. So, we've gotten a lot of Pack Shards. Let's try to cool down on the Pack Shards a little bit, because we're taking them kind of fast. Non-boss enemy get more attack. I don't think we turn that on, especially because you've got a lot of health. Yeah. Okay, Little Fade at the bottom kills this one, which is excellent. And do we play the Rail Beater? Well, we play the Rail Beater first, of course. So we're going to play the Rail Beater at the top. Rail Beater at the top. And we're going to play Little Fade at the bottom. Little Fade at the bottom kills that one. We can also torch to... We could torch to kill Little Fade and bring her back, which is actually neat. Let's do that. bring back Little Fade. So now Little Fade will kill both of them, and then burn out. I like that we got our Fledgling Imp already. We got our Primitive Mold already too, which is nice. So, we want Little Fade to go down here. Down at the bottom, we want this one to have the Endless, so we play it first, which is a little bit weird. It's a little bit weird that you get played first. And we can't... Actually, we could play Alloy of the Ancients to have Little Fade kill both. Huh. Alright. Let's play the Fledgling Imp first. I don't know when this is gonna die, is the thing. We're gonna play the Wickless Baron at the bottom. Let's play it first, because we need it to have the Endless. Let's play Wickless Baron at the bottom. Let's play Little Fade at the bottom. If we put Little Fade in front and play Alloy of the Ancients, Little Fade kills both of those. Which I do kind of want, you know? Alright, Little Fade kills both of those. Little Fade dies next turn because of Burnout. Little Fade kills both of those before burning out. Is that true? Not quite. Not this one. So we could Subsuming Blade to kill our Little Fade. I like it when we do that. That's probably a good thing to do. I'm also thinking about killing this one with Subsuming Blade, because if we play Little Fade again, she'll get Endless unless we play this Wickless Tycoon first. Let's Subsuming Blade Little Fade again. Primitive Mold, we play you first. We're going to play you in the center. And then we play a Little Fade down here. And the front two still die, which means you get your Harvest twice. Little Fade only kills one of them. You kill that one. Little Fade dies. That's probably what we want. And you die. Yeah, this is what we want. So let's have Little Fade die. We're going to play the Primitive Mold so we get it next turn. The only problem is that you need to die. How do we cause that to happen? How do we cause that to happen? If we Purify and Cleanse Little Fade, then she still dies to this one. But she dies after taking both the hits, which is roughly the same as what was going to happen before. Okay. I think we just play Ritual of Battle on you. Alright, so Little Fade is going to die. We knew that she was going to die. We wanted her to die. We just also wanted this Absolver to die, which we did not get. So we play the Weight of Contrition. We play the Primitive Mold. We play the Fledgling Imp with the Molten Encasement on it first. Let's play that one here. We got a Dripfall. Dripfall is kind of cool because we can kill something with Little Fade. Alright. So Little Fade is going to go at the bottom. She's got Burnout 4, which is not my favorite. And then we Dripfall this one, so that Little Fade kills you. And you get killed by this one after killing the Fledgling Imp. That's exactly what we want to happen. So, Ritual of Battle on you, Torch on you, just to get rid of the torch. Now, I see Subsuming Blade. Subsuming Blade kills one of those back ones if we want it to. We kind of don't want it to, is the thing. We could play the Fledgling Imp here. The Subsuming Blade doesn't kill even this one. Oh, unless we torch him first. Alright. So what if we torch this guy and Subsuming Blade him, just so that we get Subsuming Blade better? And then we win. And Little Fade got 2 more kills on that last turn. Wicked Blaze. How much do we want it? We kind of don't. Do we want Mortal Entrapment because dazing the boss is really excellent? Probably. We probably want that. I'm just trying not to take too many cards. But this is one that's helpful to us to take. So let's take this one. Higher Chopper? No. March of Shields might be nice. It's kind of like the Alloy of the Ancients, but repeatable. I'm gonna take the March of Shields. Alright, don't take so many cards. We've got to make our deck smaller. We definitely don't need this. So we will choose and we will skip. Get more money. The money is even better because we have the guild marker. Oop, and this is very important. We get the Hope for Peace. Now we can actually play Thy Holiest Shield. So I want to go this way. Unstable Vortex, Merchant of Shield, and Concealed Caverns seems excellent. Alright, let's peek in here first. Immortal Stone, we could put that on the Fledgling Imp. It's kind of strange when we already have something that applies Endless to it when we play it, basically. So I don't think I want that. Probably gonna reroll. Let's go here. What do you have for me today? You have Rail Spikes. Do I actually want one? I mean, I like the Awoken's Rail Spike. The Waxen Spike is good with Little Fade, and that's kind of it. But it's good for Little Fade. Spike of the Stygian, we kind of don't want. The Awoken's Rail Spike is the only one that I kind of want. And I don't know if I actually want it. It is a way to kill a unit and then draw that unit. I don't really know if I want it. I'm gonna take it. Alright, 28 cards. Why am I doing this to myself? We should be removing more cards. Let's remove more cards. So, remove the Train Steward, remove a Torch. Almost certainly, right? The Primitive Molds are pretty bad as well. Let's get rid of a Torch. Now, Merchant of Steel, we're gonna have to re-roll, because I don't care for these. Large Stone. Now, I don't mind a large stone. The Rail Beater slots are full, the Wickless Baron slots are not full. But we were thinking about putting you on that. Do we keep the Wickless Tycoon? I don't know if we really want to keep the Wickless Tycoon. So what are we upgrading then? The Fledgling Imp? Is that it? Or are we keeping the Wickless Tycoon? Now I don't know. So maybe we spent money refreshing for no reason? Because if I want to remove the Wickless Tycoon and sacrifice the Wickless Baron, then why did we just do this? I don't really care about keeping the Wickless Tycoon that much. So I think we're not going to do this. And I feel pretty dumb for clicking the reroll button. And let's remove... Should we remove the Wickless Tycoon already? I don't think so. I want to remove another torch. Yeah? Okay. Whatever. I'm making decisions that were not great. Ooh, the Stealth 8 is pretty bad. The Spell Shield makes it so that our torches are worse, and the Mortal Entrapment is worse. The Subsuming Blade is the same. We have 2 torches that become worthless. I'm okay with that. Alright, Little Fade. You are my savior here, I hope. We don't have a way to get Little Fade back this turn, which is unfortunate. We can give her armor. We're probably going to give her armor. So Rail Beater is going to go at the top. We will eventually make the Rail Beater good, but for now, we kind of don't. We want to play Subsuming Blade and kill one, but what if we played Little Fade and had Little Fade kill all 3? I like that more than having Subsuming Blade get bigger. We could play the Torch just to consume it from the deck. So now we've got Little Fade. We can play the Wickless Baron here. We can play a Torch on Little Fade and then bring her back with a Primitive Mold. Torch on Little Fade. Primitive Mold to bring Little Fade back. That way Little Fade kills that one. Yeah, that does something at least. So the Wickless Baron is nice and all. We could make you have Endless. We're going to Primitive Mold Little Fade, of course. Little Fade has spikes 99. The problem is Little Fade doesn't kill this one. Little Fade could go in the center and kill this one. And then this one also dies, which is nice. So maybe we play Little Fade in the center this turn. Play the Wickless Baron at the bottom. for reasons. Play Little Fade in the center so she gets a kill. Actually, she gets both kills, doesn't she? Great. And then play the Awoken's Rail Spike. Okay, Purifying Cleanse and Thy Holiest Shield. Kind of glad we didn't draw them next turn. We didn't get a whole lot, and that Primitive Mold doesn't do anything for me until Little Fade dies. She does die this turn, but I would rather her die next turn, kind of. Maybe we don't play the Wickless Baron this time. We play the Ritual of Battle on you and Primitive Mold. So we get Primitive Mold for next turn. There is our Molting Imp. Finally. So, we're going to play the primitive mold. Let's see what we have to work with Little Fade. Little Fade has spikes 100, but only 16 health. That means that she dies at the top after killing those two. I like that. So we could play the Fledgling Imp here, and then play Little Fade at the top, and play a Ritual of Battle on you again, of course. Oh, Little Fade doesn't die. Did not expect that. Alright. So the Wickless Baron could be played, the Fledgling Imp could be played. Right now, Little Fade is dying from that one, which is terrible. Let's play Purifying Cleanse on Little Fade. Now Little Fade is doing a lot better. However, you are a problem, aren't you? If we put the Wickless Baron behind up here, that might be nice. I think we should play the Fledgling Imp at the bottom so that we use up some stealth. I don't know if that actually uses up much stealth, though. Having a hard time making decisions this turn. Let's play the Fledgling Imp in the middle so that we draw a card. We could Drip Ball you, which would mean Little Fade doesn't die anymore, which is not my favorite. But then at least you die. We're going to play the Primitive Mold so we get back Little Fade. Let's play the Wickless Baron up here. And then, do we Drip Ball something? We could Drip Ball this one. If we Drip Ball this one, then Little Fade kills you. Little Fade kills you. And Little Fade does a whole bunch of damage to you. If we... And then you are going to deal all of your damage to this one, which is going to be 46 and then 92. Right now you're only dealing your damage... You're not dealing your damage to this one at all, is that right? Because you spend it all on this guy? Okay. So if we Drip Ball this one, I think that we kill the middle one, because you're going to be doing 46 and 92. Yeah. Drip Ball you. There we go. So now we're killing all the ones at the top, and Little Fade dies, which is nice. Alright. Now, Primitive Mold is very nice here. Let's start with that. So we get back Little Fade. If we play Little Fade in the middle here, this one will give both of them stealth. And that means that Little Fade is gonna die from burnout before she actually gets to do much of anything. So I guess we play Little Fade here so she dies. She is going to get the Endless this time. Don't like that she's going to get the Endless this time, but she's actually a pretty good unit at this point, so why worry about it? It's just her burnout is not as good as I would like it to be. At least this means that you get damaged from hitting Little Fade's spikes a little bit. And then we can Consuming Blade here. Torch here. We could Holiest Shield somebody. That's probably better than March of Shields and Torch. Alright. Holiest Shield can go on you. And then, we're already winning. If we put Little Fade here, I'm pretty sure that Little Fade gets the kill. Oh no, you don't have enough. You burn out before you can get the kill. How sad. Alright, well, maybe we should have put Little Fade in front. Yeah, if we put Little Fade in front, she would have gotten the kill. How sad. Alright, I made a mistake there. It means Little Fade has 2 less spikes, or 3 less spikes. A Fatal Melting is not bad. I would not take the other 2. Memories of the Melted would be good if we had it with Awoken's Rail Spike. I guess. It could be quite amazing, or it could be another thing in the deck that prevents us from drawing what we want. Fatal Melting could be kind of the same. It's just that you sometimes really want something that can kill a lot of things. Yeah, this is the first thing that's going to be able to kill back units at the bottom that's not Little Fade. Important Work sacrifices an imp. An imp that has Endless. You know? That's actually really good. Okay, we need to stop taking cards. I keep telling myself this and I keep not following it. Alright, let's go to the right. Let's remove more cards at least. Divine Temple has a Twin Stone and a Seek Stone, as well as Engage Pact, which we do want to do. The Seek Stone, I don't think we care about. The Twin Stone, I also don't think we care about. We could play it on Important Work, but it'd be kind of silly. Like, really silly, actually. Maybe I will, because it's so silly and I like that. Let's peek in here. Lightstone Casing. Spells get an extra upgrade slot. That could be nice. Rage adds more. I mean, pretty nice with our Fledgling Imp, right? So let's think of the Lightstone Casing while we look at this, because we could put a Seek Stone. We could put a Seek Stone on our main Primitive Mold, and then we just have it from the very beginning every turn. I like it. That's a good reason to get Lightstone Casing, I think. Friendly units enter with more Rage, or Advanced Prototype, which is completely pointless. Alright, we'll take the one that does something. Unstable Vortex, I'm getting rid of Torches and Primitive Molds. I'm going to get rid of a couple of Primitive Molds now, because we're not going to need them. Alright. Spells get an extra upgrade slot. And Resonant Shard. Then we get Seek Stone to put on the... where is it? This one. Alright, Holdover Seek Stone. That means we just get it every single turn, including the first one. And I'd prefer not to do much more, but the Engage Pact is something that we actually want to do, because I want to get rid of the Wickless Baron and put it on the Rail Beater. so we will do that. Wickless Baron goes on Rail Beater. The Rail Beater is now going to be very, very nice. Okay, let's try to avoid more stones, I think. Alright. Avoid more pack shards, I really mean. We might get more next time. Let's go. Blinding and Shattering. Shattering is kind of awful with what we're doing. Blinding is also kind of awful with what we're doing. Oh my. This is not a good Archus battle. At least we're not playing much at the top. So Little Fade is definitely going to go at the bottom. I think we're going to do the Fledgling Imp first. Fledgling Imp first to see what we draw. We drew a torch, which means we could torch our own Little Fade. I like it. It starts the movement. Torch our own Little Fade. And then Primitive Mold our Little Fade. Now we have a little bit better of a Little Fade. And we'll play you here. You have exactly 9 health, which is annoying. But we can play the Alloy of the Ancients on you. Or we could just play the Wickless Baron. I mean, we're going to play the Wickless Baron. We know that. Which means we're not playing a Fatal Melting, which is so incredibly sad, I guess. Fine. You're getting 19 damage. Oh, how sad. You don't have quite enough rage. That means we get a Weight of Contrition. Alright, Shattering at the top. That's not too bad for us this turn. We have kind of a really nice set of stuff. I want to play the Rail Beater at the bottom. Is that crazy? I think that is crazy. Let's not do that. Let's play the Fledgling Imp at the bottom like we normally would. Now, we important work the Fledgling Imp. Then we draw it again, which gives even more rage to our units. Of course, you don't have Endless anymore, do you? Oh, that's an interesting aspect of what I just did that I should have thought about. Little Fade. Little Fade is definitely going to go at the bottom and kill stuff. So you go at the bottom and kill stuff. We want to get that Fledgling Imp. I guess we still have Primitive Molds in the deck. Or we could Drip Ball you so that Little Fade kills you. You know, I like that. You're going to go at the top. And then you are going to go at the top? I don't know. I think I'm going to put you here so that things have more rage. For that matter, I probably should have played it at the top to get more rage. I don't know. Well, this is a little bit annoying, but it's not too annoying because Little Fade is killing the front one and the second one, and then you kill the third one. That's not too bad. We could even Subsuming Blade to kill one of them from the beginning, like the Quill Marksman. Let's do that. And then we play Primitive Mold, even though it doesn't get anything. And we play Awoken Rail Spike. I'm glad that costs less, but you know, it still costs 2. So, oh well. We could heal you so that you don't die, but I kind of want you to die. So, let's have you die. Primitive Mold at the bottom. And Little Fade at the bottom. Little Fade does not die anymore. She just kills everything. with spikes alone, for that matter. I'm going to Ritual of Battle on you. And then Primitive Molds don't do anything. We could give Little Fade more burnout. I don't see a reason not to right now, so I'm going to do it. We can sacrifice this imp, and then draw something, and then Primitive Mold the imp. Alright, let's do that. Ooh, wait a minute, but then you will have stealth. Right. You have not taken any damage. How unfortunate, we can't Mortal Entrapment you. Well, we could still do important work, even though that would make you stealthy and make less of these die. Would the same number of them die? Maybe, actually. Let's do this. So you're now stealthy for some reason. You also have Burnout 5, for whatever good that does us. We're going to get back that imp. And then it's the first one that we play this turn, so it does get endless. Can we give even more stealth? Is that what we want? I think it kind of is what we want. We have Drip Fall, which does what for me? We could Drip Fall the boss, but what does that accomplish? I don't know. We could Mortal Entrapment Little Fade. Little Fade has Endless. I did not notice that Little Fade had Endless, actually. Should we kill our Little Fade? We wouldn't draw her again, though, so no. So, we do want to play this one first. Let's do that. Except, do we want to play Subsuming Blade on our own Little Fade first? Maybe we do. Subsuming Blade on our own Little Fade. Oh, the Shattering Dark Shard. How sad. And then we play you. We're going to play you at the top, actually. You're going to have Endless with Burnout 1. Oh man. I like it. Now Little Fade is going to go at the bottom. Little Fade is going to go at the bottom. We want to play Primitive Mold. We're going to get another Weight of Contrition, it seems like. How very unfortunate. I don't want to play a Fatal Melting here. We could play it here, though. And play Ritual of Battle at the top. You having one Burnout is actually really nice. Endless with one Burnout. So, Weight of Contrition, Weight of Contrition. Endless with one Burnout. And then Primitive Mold. We get Little Fade. We play Little Fade here where she can kill one of them, I think. I think just one. And then a Torch is kind of pointless. A March of Shields is fine. We can March of Shields... We could March of Shields Little Fade. We've got a Purifying Cleanse next turn. Yeah, let's actually give you lots of armor. This is a good turn to do so. Now, we definitely defeat you, right? Because all we have to do is play Fledgling Imp. Fledgling Imp. Purifying Cleanse. Purifying Cleanse. And then we could do Thy Holiest Shield. Let's do it. So you're burning out before you kill. If we give you Rage, does it help? Not quite. Alright, well, we'll kill next turn with just a little Fade, which is perfect. Alright, can we kill this turn with just a little Fade? Of course we can. Do we want to play other things first? Let's see here. Primitive Mold. Little Fade would actually not win on its own. So we've got to play the Imp. We've got to play the Imp. We've got to play Little Fade. And then if we Subsuming Blade the Imp, then we win with Little Fade. And we make Subsuming Blade better. Nice. Tent on Death is fine. Reinforce is fine. I don't think these are things we should add to the deck, because we basically want the deck to be smaller at this point. And these don't greatly enhance our deck, so we will skip them. I want Bell's Remorse, and I want Herzl's Compound. I always want those two. Well, I think we take Herzl's Compound again. Because it sort of makes our deck smaller. Sort of. In an interesting way. The Merchant of Steel doesn't really do anything for me. The Merchant of Magic does. The Concealed Caverns does, and the Herzl's Hoard does. I think I want to go to the right for the Artifact and the Concealed Caverns over Merchant of Magic. So we're going this way. We're going to peek in here. We've got a True Stone, which could go on Fatal Melting, actually. That's really nice. Value Stone, which could go on so many things that are nice for it to be on, like a Ritual of Battle. Oh my gosh. Why do I want all of the pack shards? And then let's peek in here just in case there's something that we would actually take. Speedstone. We could put it on the Fledgling Imp. I don't really want Heartstone on the Fledgling Imp, do I? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think we're going to do anything there. It remains that I don't think I want that. Concealed Caverns. What do you have for me today? You have a Historian. I mean, the Wildwood Tome is really good on Little Fade again, because Little Fade having Quick is really good. One Horn's Tome could make Little Fade fragile, which is not actually a good thing. It could make one of our other units fragile. Let's get the Quick one, because I think Quick is really good for two of our units, one of them being Little Fade, and one of them being our one that has multi-strike. Hell's Banners. Ooh, that adds a lot of Ember most of the time. Let's take it. And then a Little Fade upgrade. I still don't want Endless because the +1 every time she dies is so much less than the +5 every time she dies. Because we mold her. Do I want to take both a True Stone and a Value Stone? I really actually do. So a True Stone goes on Fatal Melting. A Value Stone goes on either Fatal Melting or a Ritual of Battle. It could go on Mortal Entrapment as well. But I think one of the other two is where I want it the most. Let's put it on Ritual of Battle. Okay, we've got 155 pack shards. I am a crazy man every time I play this game. I add too many cards to my deck, I take too many pack shards. Spell Shield 2. Why do I care? It affects Mortal Entrapment. And the torches, which we really don't care about at all anyway. So, turn to Dawn. What I don't like is the multi-strike. The multi-strike makes it so that Little Fade doesn't just kill them as easily. Especially if she doesn't survive. We want the Fledgling Imp to die. We also want Little Fade to die. But we want Little Fade to kill things. Huh. I want the Fledgling Imp to die because I want it to have... Okay. I'm thinking about this. I think what I'm going to do is play the Wickless Baron Railbeater at the top with the... what is it called? The Endless. So you have Endless. I will now play the Fledgling Imp at the bottom, and then consider what we're doing with Little Fade. Little Fade we could kill with the Torch and Primitive Mold Little Fade, which is, you know, it's a good way to start. Torch, Primitive Mold, get back Little Fade. I want Little Fade to die again, so we put Little Fade in the front. Do we do this before... Let's do this. Now, if we put Alloy of the Ancients on Little Fade, what happens this turn? You don't kill Little Fade. Yes, you don't. So that means that you die to Little Fade and you die to Little Fade. That's kind of excellent. Let's do that. And then let's play Awoken Railspike, because why not? Ooh. Okay. Well, we don't really care about Purifying Cleanse. Getting rid of the Torch, especially when we have the Spell Shield 2 and everything, it's good to get rid of that. And I like starting you off with some Rage. Alright. You are not dying anymore. Oh. Right. We want you to die, though. We could apply Burnout 3 to you so that you eventually die. Just in case I forget to kill you another way. The Wickless Tycoon is still in the deck. Right. A Fatal Melting... Fatal Melting is actually quite good right now. Because it kills this imp when that Wilt Wings hits it. The problem is I don't get to play the imp with what is it called? I don't get to play the imp with the Endless and Burnout because I can't play a Fatal Melting and kill those and then play a Primitive Mold and guarantee to get back the imp. I might get back Little Fade and not the imp. And I actually do want to get back Little Fade anyway. So maybe what we do is we play the Wickless Tycoon and give it Endless. We give it Endless. Really thinking about this, because it matters which one has Endless kind of a lot. And I want you to have Endless eventually. We don't want Little Fade to have Endless. So we're going to play the Wickless Tycoon. Probably should have played it at the bottom. Don't really know why I played it in the center. We'll play the Primitive Mold to get back Little Fade. We play Little Fade. have the primitive molds in my hand this turn is the problem. I don't want you to have Burnout 2, I want you to have Burnout 1. So I want the first primitive mold that we play you with give you Endless. Oh well, we don't get to do that. So where do we play Little Fade? We play Little Fade at the bottom. You're going to kill Little Fade immediately. Which we don't actually like. But it is something. Something with Little Fade that helps somewhere. Alright. Fine. Now, we can play a Fatal Melting. That will mean that Little Fade doesn't die. No, you still die, but you die to that one's attack. Is that good? I mean, it does get rid of this one, which is not a bad thing. Let's play the Wildwood Tome on you. I think we want that on you the most. And then we have to make decisions, which are hard. I don't like making decisions. Decisions are hard. Let's play Thy Holiest Shield on you. There we go. That's a decision I can somewhat get behind. Now, we didn't get another primitive mold. We just got this one. How sad. It got back Little Fade. That's fine. Subsuming Blade can kill something. Could kill you. Don't mind that one killing you. We could Strip Ball something as well. Let's Subsuming Blade this one. This one's the most annoying one. And then we play Little Fade, and Little Fade has Endless this time, which is kind of sad. But oh well, Little Fade has Endless this time. Then Ritual of Battle on you. Mortal Entrapment doesn't do anything, so why even look at it? We could bring you down, so that we could hopefully do things with Little Fade next turn that are nice. I don't know. You could go to the top, I guess. You would not kill him at the top. Let's Strip Fall you. We'll figure you out another turn. And then you're going to get killed at the top. Okay, we've made decisions. I don't know if I like the decisions, but we made them. I'm okay with us making the decisions. Now, very important thing happens here. We play Primitive Mold. We get back this, and then we play it. So it has Burnout 1 and Endless, which we're going to play at the top a whole lot of times. You don't die from this one? Why is that? Oh, you have Quick. I forgot giving you Quick. Right. Now, Little Fade can now be played. I guess Important Work can be played. But then you wouldn't have Endless. Right. We want you to have Endless and Burnout 1. The Important Work is not as good anymore. It's good sometimes, though, so I'm not going to get rid of it. If we put Little Fade in the center, then it will do quite well in the center. So let's do it. You don't get killed, but you do take 198 damage. If we give Little Fade March of Shields, then you probably still don't kill it. Yeah, okay. Let's not do that. We want Little Fade to die. We could Fatal Melting at the bottom, unless we want to take out those with Little Fade instead. I think we do a Fatal Melting. And then a Primitive Mold doesn't do anything. March of Shields does give you more armor, which is fine. So, we got you exactly how we want you. Let's do that first. We can play Primitive Mold to get back Little Fade. We can play Little Fade. We can Subsuming Blade our Little Fade. Then we can play Primitive Mold to play Little Fade. And then Ritual of Battle on you to make you ridiculous. And I think we're doing quite well. Let's give Little Fade more burnout, because she's going to last this time. You go at the top. We play this so that it remains in our hand. We play a Fatal Melting at the bottom. I don't really see a reason to do that, because, well, I guess it's useful. Because we don't want you to have multi-strike when you get to Little Fade. Fine. Let's play more Purifying Cleanse and Little Fade. And then Ritual of Battle up here twice. Excellent. Let's go. Bring on the boss. I'm ready. Subsuming Blade could kill our Little Fade. How about that? Let's start there. Let's play the Fledgling Imp. You've already got 4 stealth. I don't think we need that guy to be any better. So we play you. We play Little Fade. If Little Fade goes here, does she just... Well, I mean, she doesn't have as much burnout as she did. Let's put her there. And now we're doing a lot of damage. You are getting killed. If we important work you, and then play you again, now we're getting really close to winning. And you're still getting killed. How about that? I didn't expect that. Let's Purify and Cleanse you. And I guess we'll win next turn. Probably with Little Fade. So as it stands, you kill on the first attack and you're quick. Alright, I guess Little Fade doesn't get a chance. We could even put Little Fade here and she still doesn't get a chance. Alright. We could get another Mortal Entrapment. Crushing Demise isn't bad. But do we need it? I think we don't need it, and therefore I'm not going to take it. Right? Yeah, I don't think we actually need it. So we skip. And we skip these two. They're fine and all, but we don't really care that much. So we skip. Get the money. So, I want to remove more cards. I do. Do I want to go to Merchant of Magic, though? Because we have a lot of things we could do with Merchant of Magic. I do. I do actually want to go to a Merchant of Magic, too. Oh, man. Alright, so the Merchant of Steel. How good is a Merchant of Steel? We could upgrade the Fledgling Imp or the Wickless Tycoon. Let's go to the left, I think. We're going to take these Forgotten Boons. And then we're going to go here. We see Stackstone, which could be played on a Ritual of Battle, like that one. That's not bad at all. Could be played on the Holiest Shields to give 4 times. Especially if we give it an Emberstone as well. We could take another Surge Stone. An Emberstone. Okay, there's some good things there. Let's think about the Merchant of Trinkets. Winged Steel is excellent. Forever Flame doesn't actually help us that much, so let's not worry about it. But Wing Steel is really good. Improved Firebox doesn't help us very much either. So we're just taking Wing Steel from this set. And then we reroll. Ooh, Combustible Wax. The problem with that is the Imp. If I get that, then the Imp is worse. But Little Fade is better. We could get Wing Clippings. That could get Alloy of the Ancients, Awoken's Railspike. And I think there's one more. Oh, there's the Holiest Shield, and a Torch, and a Wildwood Tome. You know? I'm gonna take it. But I don't really want the other two. So we won't take the other two, which means we've got a lot of money left. So we've got to do good things here. How much do I want another Surge Stone? We could put it on the other Torch. Do I want to remove torches? I do, but I'm gonna instead put the Surge Stone on the Torch. So that it sort of removes itself. And then Stack Stone is going on the Ritual of Battle. We could put it on the other one. I don't see why we'd put it on the other one. We could put it on Mortal Entrapment. Dazed 6? Ooh, that might be better. It might be better, but actually, it's probably better on the Ritual of Battle. Because we're going to have a lot of... We're going to have a lot of stealth. So... Daze 6. How do we go against Daze 6, though? Versus... just a Rage 20, which is so insignificant compared to Dazed 6. Let's take it anyway. Alright. Emberstone can go on so many things. So many things that's useful to put an Emberstone on. Like this Ritual of Battle. Sure. Alright. Reroll here. Holdover. What else do we want holdover on? I don't know. The Subsuming Blade could have holdover. That's actually really nice. The Ritual of Battle that costs 0 could have holdover. That's nice too. I'm going to put it on the Subsuming Blade. Power Stone could go on Mortal Entrapment to do a lot more damage. Could go on a Fatal Melting. We could put it on Subsuming Blade, since we're going to draw it every turn now. This one just does, 75 damage, although it's really the Daze 3 that we care about. Let's put it on Subsuming Blade. And then Emberstone. Could go on Awoken's Railspike. Could go on Dripfall. Could go on Fatal Melting. Or Mortal Entrapment. Let's put it on a Mortal Entrapment. And then we purge cards. We want to purge... we want to purge Wickless Tycoon. Because we don't want it in the deck anymore. Right? Yeah, I don't want it in the deck anymore. And then we could purge one more time. Huh. Guess we will. Purge another card. We could purge Important Work. We could purge a Primitive Mold. What if we purge a Primitive Mold? Important Work is not terrible still. It just goes around what we actually wanted to do a little bit. Or I could purge nothing because we're going against Seraph that eats my spells, right? No, we're going against Seraph the Temperate. I could totally purge another card. Okay, what do we purge? Important Work, Primitive Mold, the torches that we made consume. Let's do a Primitive Mold. Okay, we now have a 23 card deck, and we should duplicate one of those cards. Right. duplicate a card. Awoken's Rail Spike is a fine card to duplicate. We could duplicate this Primitive Mold, which is kind of crazy now. We could duplicate this Ritual of Battle, which is quite good. We could duplicate the Wickless Baron, which is honestly really nice. Let's duplicate the Wickless Baron. Okay. And then Seraph the Temperate. I think we'll be fine, but I did take a lot of pack shards, and I should really be careful with that. So you've got Damage Shield 4. I don't think that's going to save you very much. At the bottom, Little Fade could kill the front one. We could kill Little Fade. Let's see here. I want to play an Endless unit. We're going to play one of you as Endless. So one of you gets Endless. And then one of you does not get Endless and goes at the top. I really want to start Little Fade going through the Primitive Molds, so I am going to play Little Fade and Subsuming Blade Little Fade. And then play Little Fade again. Because even though that doesn't mean that we kill more units down here, it does mean... Oh, and you know what? I should have done that on a different floor. Where you didn't get 15 armor and one of my guys actually got something. Oh well. Ritual of Battle goes up here, and the rest of these don't really matter, so let's not worry about them. Wildwood Tome. Alright, we want to put that on you. We don't have something that we can give Endless to right away that I want to give Endless to. We could just play Little Fade, have her have Endless for some reason. The only other thing that we could do is play 3 cards and hope that we draw something that's better than having Little Fade have Endless. So I'm going to start with that. Wildwood Tome goes here. The Subsuming Blade kills this one. Primitive Mold gets back Little Fade, and we draw a Torch. You know, the Torch is not what we wanted to draw. So we play Little Fade at the bottom. She has Endless, which means that back one dies, Little Fade dies, we draw her next turn. And then, as much as I want to consume the Torch, would I rather save some health on you? No, you're Endless. Why do I care about saving health on you? Let's just take out a damage shield. Alright. And be done with this turn. So, our middle guy dies, which is fine. He has Endless already. We have things that we could play. The Ritual of Battle we're definitely going to play up here. So let's start there. The Primitive Mold we're definitely going to play just because we want it to get things back. And then we play a Subsuming Blade or a Drip Ball. What if we play a Drip Ball in hopes that we get something better? No, let's play Subsuming Blade. Subsuming Blade could kill this one. Do I care? I don't care. Subsuming Blade kills this one. We got a Fatal Melting. That's kind of nice. So Little Fade can go in the center with Endless again. Or you could go at the bottom. If you go at the bottom, you kill both of those. If you go in the center, we don't care. So we're going to go at the bottom. kill both of those. And then in the center, we're going to play a Fatal Melting. And you still die, that's fine. You have taken damage, so Mortal Entrapment can do stuff to you later. We could Drip Fall you, but there's no point in that, is there? Alright, we're done. Now, next turn we draw an Awoken Railspike. Okay. I probably want you to have Endless. So we're going to play you up here. The Endless with Burnout is nice and all, but maybe we just want you to have Endless. You don't even die, for that matter. Right, forgot about that. Do we play the other Rail Beater up here? We really could. It's just that then we could never play Little Fade at the top. Unless you die, which you're gonna die sometime. Alright, let's play the Rail Beater up here too. Rail Beater goes up here. You're gonna go, it doesn't matter where we put you exactly, so we're gonna put you in front. Little Fade now can go at the bottom. And then we can Subsuming Blade Little Fade, so that we get Little Fade getting more burnout and health. Alright, Little Fade, you now have 3 burnout. You've got Spikes 205. And you die without killing anything at the bottom, but we can't play you at the top. We could play Alloy of the Ancients on you, which means you would kill that one. I'm willing. And then Awoken's Railspike. Excellent. We could play the Ritual of Battle. Ritual of Battle on you. March of Shields on you, I guess. We could Important Work our Imp. We would draw it again, which is fine. It won't have Endless this time, which is also fine. Sure. And then click end turn. Good things have happened. A lot of good things have happened, actually. So, Little Fade, we do want you to die. We also want our Imp to die. Let's have our Imp die first. So Imp dies. We Primitive Mold the Imp. There's another Primitive Mold in our deck, by the way. We Primitive Mold the Imp. Now the Imp has Burnout 1. Burnout 1 and Endless, which is amazing for us. We could heal you. That's kind of cool, because then you kill more things. We can Mortal Entrapment the boss at this point. Do I want to do that? I kind of do, but I kind of also want to play Awoken's Railspike. If we play Awoken's Railspike, I can kill my Little Fade and bring her back. Let's do that. Awoken's Railspike. Kill my Little Fade. Bring her back with this Primitive Mold that we just got. And then she kills the front 3, which is much better, right? And then a Ritual of Battle goes on you, getting you ridiculous. A Fatal Melting we actually don't want to play at the bottom. We could play Mortal Entrapment. That's good. Daze the boss some. You know, things at the top just kind of die. That's what we like to see. But they just kind of die. Little Fade, you go here and you kill 3 more. But you do survive. We could Subsuming Blade you, and then Primitive Mold you again. Of course we do that, right? Subsuming Blade, Primitive Mold, get back our Little Fade, play her again. Alright. We could Fatal Melting in the middle, but I don't really see a reason why we would do that. We could Fatal Melting at the top, that seems much better. Fatal Melting at the top. Ritual Battle at the top. Okay, we're dealing you kind of a lot of damage, and I don't feel the need to play the important work. Let's play Holiest Shield. Holiest Shield on you? Don't think there's any chance that we're losing this battle at this point. Alright, how you doing, Little Fade? It looks like you're not dead yet. We could kill you, though. You go up here. We could Purify and Cleanse our Little Fade instead of killing her, but I'd rather kill her, right? Rather do that. And then Primitive Mold Little Fade. Play Little Fade. Okay. All of them are dying by Little Fade. How excellent. You've got 237 spikes, and you're gonna get 16 more this turn. Very nice. Ritual of Battle goes on you because, you know, why not go absolutely ridiculous there? And then we can torch the boss, I guess? I want to play Awoken's Rail Spike. The problem with it is that we don't get Mortal Entrapment down to 0, but we do draw so many cards that we could draw Mortal Entrapment again soon. Sure, let's do it. Now, we could Subsuming Blade Little Fade again and Primitive Mold her again. Alright, and then we Drip Fall the boss so that you're more dazed. We Purify and Cleanse Little Fade a couple of times, because why not? And then we Ritual of Battle up here, and we March of Shields here. Great. So, Little Fade is not winning. Little Fade is dying. But one of the things that we could do is Subsuming Blade Little Fade. Subsuming Blade Little Fade. And then Primitive Mold Little Fade. You got something. You got armor for that? Oh, you gave armor for that. Oh, how sad. Little Fade goes here. And you're dealing some damage. We could deal more if we did a Fatal Melting right now, but then you wouldn't get as many spikes. I want you to get those spikes. Oh, we made you endless, didn't we? How sad. Well, now we're going to do this. And important work you? Yeah, important work you. We could Purify and Cleanse Little Fade. We could Subsuming Blade one of these. We could Primitive Mold our guy, get him back, play him again, Subsuming Blade him. Alright, let's do that. Ritual of Battle. And then we don't play Fatal Melting because we actually want Little Fade to kill this one, so she gets more spikes. And at this point she has basically the maximum spike she's going to have. So what we really want now is Primitive Mold the Fledgling Imp, Primitive Mold the Fledgling Imp, play the Fledgling Imp in front here, and then play Little Fade behind you. Little Fade is winning. Oh, yes. Little Fade gets even more spikes. Nice. Alright, what a great victory. Move on. Now, I think we're going to do just fine in the Last Divinity. But I don't know how we're going to approach it. Where do we put these guys? I think we put one in the middle. One in the middle and one at the top. And the middle one has Endless. The top one doesn't. Which is significant. We could play Alloy of the Ancients on you. Let's play Little Fade at the bottom to start with. And then we can't use the Primitive Mold. Of course we're going to play it, but we can't really use it. Little Fade is only getting rid of a damage shield that he also gains. So Little Fade is doing nothing at the bottom here. A Fatal Melting does something at the bottom at least, so we'll play it. And then a Ritual of Battle we're going to play at top. Do we play the Alloy of the Ancients at the top? We could play it at the bottom this turn, so that Little Fade actually kills one of them. But I think it's more important for you to have it for the future. Ooh, it got preserved. Great. Now, we do have this Fledgling Imp, which is a great one to have Endless. Do we play it in the middle or the top? I don't know the answer to that. I kind of want to play it in the middle, but I kind of also want to play it at the top. Let's play it at the top. We can Primitive Mold. Let's play Primitive Mold here, and then play Little Fade. Yeah. And then play Subsuming Blade on our Little Fade. And then we play Primitive Mold again, so we can play Little Fade again. I think I'm just going to have you die. So Little Fade is going to go down here. Little Fade kills those two. Ritual of Battle can be played on the top one. And then we're going to play Awoken's Rail Spike this turn. Or we could just play Dripfall. Dripfall the boss at the top. That would mean you don't die this turn. We could Dripfall... I don't know. What do we Dripfall? It's probably going to be the boss. I guess we Dripfall the boss at the top. Although that does mean we get Ember Drain. I don't like it. Let's play the Awoken's Rail Spike instead, I guess. So, Awoken's Rail Spike. I like the Mortal Entrapment costing less. I don't like that we can't pay for it now. Alright. Well, there it is. Next turn is going to be an annoying turn. So we've got 2 Endless units which showed up. We can play Wildwood Tome on you, which I do like. I want to play the Fledgling Imp at the top. Let's play the Wickless Baron at the top. And then play the Fledgling Imp at the top. We want to Primitive Mold. Play Primitive Mold. Get back Little Fade. We want Little Fade to be doing damage down here if we can. think we should torch this one first. Yeah, torch this one first. Or Subsuming Blade, that one? No, we want to use the Subsuming Blade at the top. Alright, so Little Fade goes here. Little Fade kills those two, which is nice. And then Subsuming Blade, we kill one of these at the top. And then we play a Wildwood Tome on you. Ooh, Preserve. We have another quick guy. That's kind of nice. You've got a damage shield. Let's see here. If we torch, we might be able to kill more. Or we do the Wilt Wings. Torch the Wilt Wings. I say we important work the Imp, actually. A Fatal Melting. That's nice. So the Imp is dead. Kind of thought the Imp had Endless. I guess you have Endless, because I played you first. Oh, whoops. Meant to give the Imp Endless. So we can do this to make it so that the Wilt Wings dies, or we could play the Torch to make it so the Wilt Wings dies. We could play a Fatal Melting at the bottom. Yeah, let's play the Torch here. Let's play a Fatal Melting at the bottom. Alright, you still kill the front two, which are the two we need you to kill. There's another Wildwood Tome. Huzzah. Nothing is really happening at the top. You're dealing 5 damage to this guy. That's basically it. And you're dealing 4 damage to him. And then he's gaining 9. So things are doing great at the top. We have 2 primitive molds, which means we can get back both of our ones that are dead, which is great, because that means we can play this at the top every turn now. And Ritual of Battle on you. Okay. I think we play the Mortal Entrapment at the bottom of the boss. Or the middle. Little Fade kind of has to go at the middle, or at the bottom, because we really need to deal with you. We're going to do that. Little Fade gets 281 damage there. Does Little Fade get the quick? I think Little Fade gets quick now. Preserved again? All of our units are going to have quick. How about that? I think the Little Fade doesn't retain the quick when she dies, however. So maybe that was a poor decision. We're going to Dazed View in the middle. We're going to Subsuming Blade. We could Subsuming Blade View. That seems quite nice. Yeah, let's do that. And then Alloy of the Ancients. We might as well just put that on you. It was not preserved. That's fine. Thy Holiest Shield will wait on. Alright, we've got to play the Weight of Contrition. We're definitely going to play this one, and we're definitely going to play the Primitive Mold to get back Little Fade. Little Fade can go at the bottom. Little Fade goes at the bottom. She kills those. If we play March of Shields, I think she kills... Oh, you don't kill the front two, though. Well, if we play March of Shields on her, I think she kills those two. We could play Subsuming Blade to kill the Chains the Sighted. I like that idea. And then a Torch doesn't quite kill one of those, but it does mean that Little Fade kills this one too. Now what do we play? Do we play the Awoken's Railspike? We play the Ritual of Battle first. And then Awoken's Railspike. Alright, Dripfall is also free. And we could play the Subsuming Blade on our own Little Fade and bring her back again, so that she tends to have more burnout. Or we could do it here so that she gets more spikes. Both of those are options. Or we could do it in the middle so that this one dies. You know, all of those are options. Let's kill this one. And then the Primitive Mold we're just going to play so that we get it next turn. And then Little Fade is going to get some burnout, which does absolutely nothing. You're going to get more dazed in the middle. I don't know why you being dazed in the middle is going to be good, but certainly at the top, where we've got stealth, it doesn't really matter as much. So, you go at the top, we start there. And then we play Primitive Mold to get back Little Fade. Little Fade goes at the bottom, and how much does she kill at the bottom? She doesn't have Quick. How sad. She doesn't kill the back one. If we give her March of Shields, she might. Let's give you Quick, because you actually retain the Quick. Also, we're dealing 1,484 damage at the top, by the way. How about that? We could important work our Imp and play the Imp again. I'm going to do that. Even though the Imp doesn't have Endless, I think this is totally going to be worth it. Let's play another Mortal Entrapment in the center. Let's play a March of Shields, I guess, on you. And then Subsuming Blade on you. Alright. Well, this one is going extremely well. We're clearly going to win, and we're going to win mastering a card, which is excellent. Alright, so, what goes first? Where's our Imp? Oh, our Imp... Right, our Imp didn't have Endless that time. But now we will have Endless once again. We're not winning at the top. We've got to be able to win this turn, right? You've got ×3 attack in the center? Wow, I didn't realize you would have ×3 attack. Oh, it's because of the Winged Conduit. Right. Little Fade goes at the bottom. Actually, do we even need to play Little Fade anymore? Or do we just play this and that and win? Alright, we play those two and win instead. Great. Alright, one card mastered, and it was the Concealed Caverns card, which I think is the hardest card to find of the four. So, no more Caverns event cards to Divinity Master. Alright. Endless applied 56, a new record. Alright, all of the Cavern event cards done. Now we just have 2 Wormkin and 1 Hellhorn to go. They're all units as well. And we got a new crown. Huzzah. Endless applied 56. Win streak increased. This one is probably not going to get to very high because I'm going to sometimes be abandoning runs like I did this time in order to find cards to master. Alright, let's go. Next one, try more. I earned a new crown for the Melting Hellhorn this run, and a Divinity mastered the last of the Cavern event cards to master. Now I just have these 3 on the right, which are all rare units. On the left, Thy Holiest Shield was the card I mastered this time. This comes from a Cavern event that has 3 cards, which can each be mastered. So I had to have 3 Divine Winds with that singular event. Thy Holiest Shield also reaches my 10 battle threshold. Surprisingly, I didn't use it for much this run. Dripfall becomes the 42nd card to reach my 100 battle threshold, where I stop counting. Thank you for all you've done, Dripfall. I find this card to be a solid common card in most Melting Remnant decks, which is why I've taken it so often. For artifacts, Votive Key was both a helpful and annoying artifact. It did some good work, but I constantly had to play around it so that my champion would die often enough. Often enough that this artifact, Mark of an Exile, would be helpful. I have usually avoided Mark of an Exile with Little Fade, but I finally realized their potential together this run, as long as I reform Little Fade several times. Check out my tracking sheet, link in the video description. New episodes every Saturday, and thanks for watching.